Listen, this all started pretty innocently. I found these little wooden coasters in a charity shop that I thought would look really nifty mounted up, so I did some little paintings for them. This is around the time I started doing in-person markets. The other product type I'm going to bring are originals. I have a few left over from the market I did last December, so I'm going to bring those. I also bought a whole bunch of fancy frames. I'm going to try and see if I can create maybe a couple pieces to go in a couple of them. I didn't really want to take big originals with me. It was a bit risky insurance wise, and also I don't really get accepted into the types of markets where people come and spend several £100s on an original piece of art. But I still wanted to take originals with me, so I figured I could make tiny ones because not only would they look cool, but I could price them for affordable prices, like £100 or less, and hopefully they would sell. Also, hi, I'm Miriam. I'm a French UK-based surrealist painter and illustrator-ish. I haven't uploaded in over 2 years, but don't tell anyone that. I'm still hoping to be able to incite new people to subscribe. I'm trying to come back and pretend like nothing happened. So anyway, finding itsy bitsy frames was so much fun. Painting pieces for them even more so. I managed one piece yesterday. Can you see the shimmer right there? I'm not a glittery person, so it's unlikely I'll ever use this paper to its full glittery potential, but I like it nonetheless. I have quite a few more sheets of it, so I thought I might as well give it a go. Maybe the skull with the star will work better because I'm probably not going to paint over a lot of the star. It really appeals to my inner crow, you know? It felt like I was collecting precious trinkets, having a little hoard. And bonus points because it didn't come with the traditional guilt I get every time I spend money on myself, because it didn't really feel like spending money on myself. Because you see, it was work, an investment, one might say, or something. It wasn't for me, you understand? It was for my job. They sold decently well too, which only contributed in fueling my flimsy excuses for my fledgling hoarding tendencies. One day, I went to my local TK Maxx and I stumbled upon this little guy. I turned it into this. Sold almost immediately. I made it for a market and then went to the market a couple of days later and it sold at the market within an hour, which was unheard of for something that I actually priced over £100. I think it was 100 and something, 20. And then the video of it I posted on Instagram went a bit viral. I started being inundated with requests to make more, and so in my frenzied efforts to find a more reliable source to find these tiny frames than the patently unreliable TK Maxx, I discovered the world of eBay alerts. Now, I'd been on eBay for a number of years to source some of my work supplies for cheaper, like ink for my printer, the occasional Prismacolor pencil that I wouldn't have to sell an eye or my soul for. So I was familiar with the site, but I realized I hadn't hadn't been really using it to its full potential up until now. I was young, naive, much more innocent than the grizzled, battle-hardened eBayer you see in front of you now. Also, I had more money. Good lord, is it easy to spend money when you find good deals on eBay. And so, blissfully unaware of the Pandora's box that I was about to open, I started looking for small frames on eBay more avidly. I now have something like 10, 15 eBay alerts every day. It's my favourite part of the day in my email inbox. Like, I've had it for months and I get excited every time I get the flood of emails from my eBay searches. I don't know how people do talking and makeup at the same time. I should be able to do this. I stream and draw and paint. Well, I used to. I'm getting back into that, but by the time this video goes up, hopefully I'll have started doing that again. But you know, I should know, and I can't focus on doing a good winged eyeliner and talk at the same time. This is like, how do people do this? I can't even move my face properly. I also used to be like a makeup artist. Granted, not a beauty makeup artist, but still, it still required finickiness and focus and also talking to people at the same time, so I'm not entirely sure why I'm finding this so difficult. To get back to my story, I found heaps of those small frames. I didn't really have much of a plan for a while. I sort of painted a few here, a few there, as and when I had a market coming up, you know. Any that didn't sell at markets, I would put on my website afterwards. Sometimes they sold out immediately, sometimes they took a few weeks or a few months, but they did eventually sell, usually within a faster time frame than my bigger, more pricey originals. A few of them sold as soon as I put them on my website before I even had the time to advertise them in my newsletter or on social media. Really comforting and lovely. Not only was that financially wonderful, especially given the last couple of years that have been really tricky financially and a bit scary, to be honest, but I also started to find my stride personally, artistically with them, and I started to feel more and more comfortable with painting small concept, which is something that I'd wanted to practice for a while now. Painting smaller allows me to rein in my overthinking muscles, which are hyperdeveloped, and it also helps me reconnect with painting for the fun of it. I don't know what's going on with my hair today, but I say that every time I film myself, so it might just be a personal issue rather than an actual objective problem. Don't get me wrong, I love working on bigger, complex pieces, increasingly so even as the years have gone by. I want to get into really complicated compositions now, but they take me a while and they are a lot of energy. They can be quite draining and stressful, especially if I don't have anything to sort of relieve the pressure every so often. Been working on the face and reworking on the face and working again on the face and just and having and going a bit nuts. I've been picking at my skin because I'm stressed. The small and complicated concepts I'd been painting for these tiny frames not only felt less complex conceptually, obviously, but also technically, and I could just focus on the enjoyment of coming up with fun little ideas instead of like worrying too much about composition and lighting and colour scheme and the message and the atmosphere I wanted to convey and just all the different elements that come into play when you're doing something a bit more complex. They don't require a lot of prep. I can paint several of them in a few hours. I have learned for the challenge you'll see me do later in this video that I can't really do more than maybe 3 a day if I want to paint them to the standard I want them at. Coming up with lots of fun ideas for them makes for really great content for my monthly Patreon sketching video. They can easily be turned into stickers and mini prints for Patreon and for my shop, but most of all, they're just really precious. I really like seeing them all together. Like I said before, I feel a bit like a crow, like a dragon, my own little treasure hoard. There's a lot of job satisfaction in creating them, a fair amount of feeling productive. That feels nice. They also allow me to offer originals at a really affordable price, which I think a lot of people appreciated. They ship easily and they are already framed. My aim is sort of to have most of them for under £100 usually. A few of them that are a little bit more complex will go for barely over 100. And so I may have, some might say, gotten a little bit carried away. One day I found myself staring a little bit bewildered at a slightly overwhelming amount of tiny frames. It was nearing the end of 2024. I had really struggled to prepare for the end of year rush. I'd had a few markets I was really counting on to bring in a bit of money at the end of the year fall through. I was struggling under a never-ending stream of admin that made me feel like I hadn't been able to make any art for an uncomfortable amount of time. And so I had an idea. I had enough of these frames at that point for every single day of December and some change. I'd always had this idea in the back of my mind to do an event a bit similar to like an advent calendar, but for art. I really needed end of year video products. I really needed to get rid of some of these tiny frames. I needed designs for Patreon stickers and prints for 2025. I needed to start making YouTube videos, and they seem to be doing well everywhere. And so I figured, how about I paint a tiny little piece to go in a tiny little frame every single day of December until Christmas, and then I could release all of them on my shop at the same time. People who'd be subscribed to my newsletter would get the announcement, and I'd also announce it on social media. I could film it all, make a video out of it. The one you're watching here, like in, I don't know what month I'm gonna upload this at, but completely irrelevant amount of time later. I'm doing what I can, okay? If you start criticizing me, I'll disappear again. And so it was that my new obsession and my burgeoning hoarding tendencies led to one of my favourite personal projects from the last couple of years. And imaginatively, I've called it Art Vent. Now listen. It was a stupid idea. I was so tired and burnt out from a really hard year. 2024 was just not fun. I had just had to give up on doing Inktober. I'll probably use some ink, but not exclusively. I'm also planning to use some pencils. And overall, if I manage all 31 days, awesome. If not, oh well. I'm combining the challenge with catching up with rewards, as well as exploring ideas I keep meaning to explore but lack the time to. I also want to focus on a specific skill area I think I lack practice in. But as soon as I tried to even consider doing it, I had a panic attack, and I was like, okay, this is clearly not in the right mental space for this. Now, end of November, a few days before December, and I was considering painting and posting on social media every day for a month. For some reason, I was really excited. Inktober felt a bit more like a chore, and this project felt a little bit more like a treat. So I sort of went with that instinct. I was burnt out from admin and financial struggle, not from creativity, not from art. I've been lost in admin hell, feeling more and more despondent. In fact, I knew that what I really needed was to make lots and lots of art. If anything, for how hard the last couple of years have been business-wise, creativity-wise, I've never had more energy. I'm full to the brim with a million ideas a minute. I was just really looking forward to jumping into that full on, and I think this project was going to give me a bit of a way to expend that energy a little bit. I only managed one today, but I think I did manage to plan a few, and I'm actually feeling reasonably okay about this project. I thought it would be another one of those where I'm actually putting way too much pressure on myself than I can handle right now, but yeah, maybe let's just check in with the me from the end of this project. Just real quick. Just for a quick second. This was all a bit of a clusterfuck, I'm not gonna lie. I overestimated myself wildly. Yeah, anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. For now, let's just bask in the glow of the innocence and naivety of the me from early December 2024. I might be okay. I'm quite in the mood to paint because I haven't been able to half as much as I would like to in the past few weeks, so maybe this is gonna be okay. I don't know, maybe I just jinxed myself. 2 small paintings a day until I leave for France is manageable. Oh yeah, let me give you like a quick breakdown of how I sort of planned out how I should do this in order to reach my, what was initially my 24th of December deadline. Let me show you how I was hoping my month would go. So, my intention was to create enough pieces for each day leading up to Christmas, but each piece did not necessarily need to be painted on the day it was created for. My hope was that I could paint as many as I could every day to build up a store, so that every day I could guarantee I had a completed piece to post on social media in the evening. As a rule of thumb, I try not to work on weekends if I can help it, mostly to cosplay being good at having a work-life balance. It's a difficult rule to stick to, but it felt realistic within the scope of this project, so all weekends were out when I was planning how to break this down. On top of that, I had a wedding on the 6th of December, and then on the 19th I was flying out to France to spend the holidays with my family, and I would stay there until the first week of January. I was intent on minimizing the amount of work I would have to take with me to France, and was even hoping I could avoid taking any painting with me at all. This left me with 12 days to paint 24 pieces, which came down to 2 pieces a day. In theory, this felt perfectly manageable, provided I didn't fall behind at any point. So now, let me remind you how many pieces I managed on Monday the 2nd of December, which was day 1 of this project. I did 1 piece, I'm reasonably happy with it. Tomorrow, the goal will be to do 3 small paintings. Should be manageable, we will see. So far, so ominous. Here is how many I did manage on that 2nd day, Tuesday the 3rd of December. 1. I managed 1. By day 3 of this whole thing, I already needed to do at minimum twice as many pieces as I had initially laid out for myself, and honestly, that is pretty much how this project just kept going. I strive to have completely unachievable standards for myself every day. That's my chief ambition when I wake up. There's nothing quite so amazing for your self-esteem and for your sense of fulfillment as to have goals that are always just ever so slightly out of reach, you know? So let's see what I'm gonna cook up for myself today. Let's see. I would like to see if I can paint 6 pieces today. Because, you know, yesterday I only managed to paint 1 out of the 3 I was expecting myself to paint. So why not double it and give it to the next person? And because I live on my own, the next person is me. So let's double it and give it to the next person and try and see if I can paint 6 pieces today. I have to paint 3 minimum, and I'm on a roll. I've got 2 designs already, not painted, but sketched out, and I feel like I might be really productive. Blow realistic expectations from well-learned patterns out of the way. You can't escape your own nature, and therefore I am not trying, and I'm gonna put a goal for myself that is exceedingly high, that I will feel absolutely horrible about not reaching tonight, because my skewed idea of myself tells me that if I work hard enough, I should be able to knock this out of the park, and so if I don't manage to knock it out of the park, then it just means I was lazy. Okay, I am still gonna set myself an unrealistic goal of making 6 paintings today, and I'm gonna start trying to break the cycle, not by setting myself a more realistic goal, but by trying tonight to not feel down in the dumps about it. I feel like that's just as stupid as setting myself an unrealistic goal, but let's go with what I have the mental capacity for today, and that's working on myself later today rather than right now. Surprise, surprise, I did not manage to get even close to 6. I got somewhat close to 3. Yeah, I can tell that I'm getting really tired and I'm not painting like I want to, and 2.5 isn't the worst, but it is a bit frustrating because I would like to get ahead of the tasks as much as possible, and I do have a lot of other stuff to do too. By day 4, the 5th of December, I know this will get confusing, just roll with it, nothing really matters in the end. I was starting to fall into a slight rhythm of being consistently ever so slightly behind my initial scheduled goals. You may wonder why it was so difficult for me to stick to my 2 pieces a day requirements, and in part it's because I had to do all of this in conjunction with every other aspect of my job. I can't just pause everything for a month just because I'm doing a challenge, but also because it wasn't just a matter of drawing out and painting each piece. I also needed to come up with ideas for each frame, and then after one was completed, I needed to frame, film and photograph it, and then post it on all 3 of my social media platforms. It sounds quick and simple when said like that, but trust me, small tasks like this add up so quickly. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. I was at a wedding all weekend, and now I'm falling ill. Fun times. I'm gonna try and fit in as many small paintings as I can today, because maybe I'll be ill for the rest of the week. But first, I received another frame. I couldn't resist when I saw it in my eBay notifications. I thought it was too fun, and I'd never seen one like that. Oh, it's quite heavy. It's chunky. How cute is he? Proper hefty. Alright, I have to get painting.
This is really bad for
It's about 1 o'clock, the 11th of December. Just finished the 2 paintings that I, according to my schedule, should do a day. Reasonably happy with both of them, probably more with the first one than the second. But that's often the case, no matter how small a painting is. I can still tell that I tire reasonably fast when I paint anything. My decision making becomes a little bit muddled and my instincts get a little bit fuzzy. If something I paint for the second painting is a challenging thing, I tend to handle it worse than if it had been my first painting of the day, if that makes sense. So the crystal was definitely more challenging than the wishbone, and therefore I struggled a little bit more, and therefore I'm slightly less happy with it, but I'm still fairly happy with it. This afternoon I am going to move on to painting this. Not a small painting, well, not a mini painting for this art event thing. It's a painting for my patrons. I've got 1 week to make 4 and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Definitely not going to be able to do it. I'm going to do my best. And that will be a different video. My hair's too short. It's making me feel a little bit self-conscious. Anyway, I'm going to put this little guy in its frame and then I'll start painting sky. See you soon. I don't like that you can see the back of the frame so much. I do like the little painting, I just don't think it's ideal for this frame. I wonder if it would fit in another frame. See, I prefer it completely like that, empty. Oh, this is annoying me. I was so happy with how much progress I made yesterday evening. I'm conundruming. I don't know inches. I have 8 pieces left to paint. I have 4 work days left to do so. 6 days total before I fly to France. I can take some of my work to France if need be. I would like to avoid it, but I can if necessary. Ideally that means 2 small paintings per day until I leave on the 19th. It's the 13th today. There are a couple frames that I want to leave for the end. This double one and oh, I rested my phone on it. That wasn't a good plan. One of these guys, which will be the Christmas Day one, like the big end of project one. Those 2 I'll leave for when I'm in France. So that leaves me with 6 frames, 4 days. I do really love this one. It is new, so I didn't got it after I started this project, so I don't actually need it for this project. The 3 of my brass ones and 3 of my ornate ones. That feels feasible, you know? That feels feasible. I'm just not sure what to put in them. Now I have to come up with ideas, which is my favourite thing to do when I have the time, but very pressure filled when I don't. I have so enjoyed being able to spend so much time doing art. I love every little piece I've created. It's been so nice to just be able to focus on doing art. I struggle with feeling like making art is a task on my to-do list, if that makes sense. Like I don't feel like I can tick a box at the end of the day. I don't feel as productive as if I was doing something administrative. It's silly because art is my job at its core, but it's a less easily quantifiable activity. Can't write a list of the things that I should do creatively. It's just whatever it needs to be done in the moment, and it's very aléatoire, we say in French, like it changes a lot. It's not a given set of tasks per piece. It's complicated. Anyway, I'm waffling because every time I open the camera I waffle. Ooh, yay. I just sold an original. My last tiny original. That's awesome. Makes me so happy when you guys buy originals. Not only just because obviously it's a financial injection that's always very welcome, but there's just something about putting unique, heartfelt things out in the world, which is what original art is, and knowing that it then lives in someone's home that was willing to pay that price for them and will hopefully treasure them. I don't think there's anything quite like it in the realm of products. Special type of interaction and relationship. It's very beautiful. In the context of capitalism, it's easy to think that an original piece of art is in essence, useless item. It doesn't have a practical utility in a home. And yet it's something precious. It's something that enhances your quality of life, allows you to share something with a stranger in a very genuine and a very honest way. There's a lot of love that went into making it, and there's a lot of love that goes into buying it and displaying it. And I find that quite beautiful, honestly. It's Monday 16th. I still have 6 pieces to make. So I want to fill this guy, and I had an idea for it, but I'm not convinced to buy it anymore. I left it on the side for too long and I got bored of it, you know? I'm struggling with these shapes because they're a lot more whimsical than I think my work is. I want to know if a human jaw fits in there. Let me show you how I'm trying to figure it out. So I've got my reference here, and essentially I think that would fit really nicely. My only issue is that I don't find the front view of a jaw particularly readable as a shape, but that might just come from my lack of faith in myself and my ability to make an understandable image. It might just be insecurity, you know? That's one idea I can do today. That's quite straightforward, probably quite fun to paint, also not too complicated to paint. I should be able to be done with that quite quickly. If I do too many similar themes in a row, I feel like maybe I'm lazy, or people will think I'm lazy, which is just silly. There's artists who are incredibly successful out there and who are very good at what they do, who essentially paint the same thing all the time. I don't judge them for it. I like their work. My personal philosophy is as long as it's fulfilling to the artist, then good, you know, that's all you really want. I don't understand why I don't extend myself the same courtesy. If there's a theme that I'm particularly inspired by and I feel fulfilling to explore over and over again, why don't I let myself be happy doing that? Yay! I quite like this one. I like it. Got quite a good little collection. Yeah, I think they look really precious all together, and I'm gonna struggle to sell them. I sort of struggle to sell everything I sell, to be honest, particularly original work. I'm really happy with today's little painting. Definitely did not manage to do as much as I wanted to do, but that's okay. I did a piece of art that I like, and that's good. You know, I'll take that definitely. I'm working so hard on trying to be kind to myself. Not putting too much pressure on myself to finish all the tasks I've assigned myself, but working on it. Today is chaos personified. The day before I fly tomorrow. There's tons of little things that I have to do and big things, and so finding an order in which to do them is a bit overwhelming, and I don't know where to look. The camera's here. And yesterday I also managed to come up with a couple of ideas to paint. I have 2 ideas, one for this frame and one for this frame, and I'm gonna do them now. And then I'll need to pack my bags. Okay, we're on track. I'm on track. I'm more on track than I thought it would be. If I stop waffling, I'll stay on track. So let's paint. What the hell? Oh. Okay. I think I'm gonna give up on my fantasy of being a well put together content creator that makes beautiful videos. How does anyone do that? Keep their life so beautifully together? That is not my life. We'll start with this one because I think this one is the most difficult of the 2. That one's gonna be tough, but I'm actually quite excited to paint this one. I'm just so chaotic. Makes me feel quite self-conscious sometimes. Because I really do fancy being, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing in some sense or another. But clearly that is not my fate in life. Let's see if that's a flattering angle. The glass is really thick. Ah, come on. Oh my god, why is it so... The glass is super thick. I don't know if you can see. I've finished this one. It's not centered in the frame. I will center it better once I film it properly, but I think it looks cool. I think it fits the frame.
Down on the banks of the old man river, heavy air calling rain. They say if she keeps up and delivers, the levee will break again. Tell me, what could you do then when the river comes a-calling? Bend a knee and pray that you can stay in the good grace of the water. Storm, she's stalling and danced. Days of rain and wind, mist hanging in the valley. Victim of a circumstance. Try your hand at sand, but no, the banks ain't holding. Old man river rising 3 foot by the hour. Drop your bags and run, you know surrender time has come to the water. High still waves are lapping on the bridge now. Seascaping in England town. Come on children, make a run for higher ground now. See the fire, hear the siren sound. Surely land will return here, choked up to its neck in yellow mud. From the mountain now we go by foot and march back down to the water. Drown up in every single step, it kicks up dust from the water.
few days. There was Christmas and then I fell ill. Like, Christmas was lovely, really chilled. I've got 1 day left before the date I promised I would upload everything on my website. Just my aunt, who's like the sweetest lady ever, came by before Christmas and saw all my little frames that I wanted to do paintings for. She came back on Christmas. She foraged all of these little frames from the family archives. They're adorable. And it was so sweet. I love it so much. It was very, very sweet. And they have sentimental value. So I think it's very lovely. This is the smallest one. And it's so small. And it's so cute. And I'm very much looking forward to putting something in it. I'm coming home with more stuff than I arrived with, because that's how Christmas goes, doesn't it? Things are good. Things are good, aside from the eternal and constant feeling that I'm scrambling and strung for time. Nothing's new. All in all, I'd say that means things are okay. I have so many images to edit for my website for the launch tomorrow, which I don't think I'm going to reach. I was overly optimistic about literally the entirety of this project. There's no point in me filming myself doing that, because it's literally just going to be me staring at my iPad. But I'm going to try and update you through the day how I'm doing. Hopefully I won't tear my hair out doing it.
You know what might lead to the downfall of humankind? Tiny administrative nightmares. Tiny technical problems that make your life slowly ebb out of you and just make you want to smash your head into a wall. I'm trying to upload my listings onto my shop. I'm using the app on my iPad, the Squarespace app, which is a nightmare in itself, but it closes down while I'm editing a listing.
My iPad storage is saying it's full. I disagree, but hey, who am I to argue with the thing that rules my life?
I'm trying to figure out how to clear out some storage. One of the files that's taking up a lot of storage is a video.
This video here is taking up 6 gigabytes of storage.
It's on my iPad because I had to airdrop it from my iPhone. I regularly empty onto my computer, but sometimes if the file that I filmed is too long, too large, for some reason it doesn't show up when I try to transfer it directly to my computer. So I have to airdrop it to my iPad and then transfer it from my iPad to the iCloud and then download it to my PC from the iCloud. This one, for some reason, is not syncing with my iCloud, and I don't know how to get rid of it without deleting it, and I need it because it's painting footage. So it's on there, taking up 6.5 gigabytes. I don't know how to make sure it goes onto my... What am I supposed to do? There's nothing else, no singular file that takes up this amount of space on my iPad. So this is the most effective way to free up a bunch of space so that my other apps can function on my goddamn iPad. Instead of using the Squarespace app, maybe I can use the website that I log into. But the website is not optimized for iPad. So sometimes some menus overlap with other menus, so I can't click on those menus.
Tried uploading it to Dropbox, but my iPad says it doesn't exist, even though it tells me it's taking up a lot of its storage. I'm gonna delete it. This is one tiny painting. I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna delete it. I can't stand it. Oh my god. This is a nightmare. I'm gonna lose it. I'm going to lose it to the tiniest inconveniences in admin and tech work. And I swear to God, this is what's going to be our downfall. What's going to burn humanity to the ground isn't climate change or late stage capitalism. It's going to be us all that's having simultaneous breakdowns because life is just so unnecessarily tedious. Anyway, rant over. Back to work. I don't know if I can trust it to tell me the truth because it lied to me before. I'm gonna trust it for now.
Hey, listen, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but after that breakdown, I'm actually making headway. I might have just jinxed myself. Ow. This is a very chaotic video. I apologise. Tomorrow's my dad's birthday, so I don't know how much work I'll be able to get done, but I'm going to do my best to get these listings uploaded. This was all a bit of a clusterfuck, I'm not gonna lie. I overestimated myself wildly. Hopefully future me will have learned a lesson. I don't hold out hope that that will be the case, because future me never learns any lessons really. Or well, she does, but like never the ones I was hoping she would. And we'll leave that to be future me's problem. Right now, present me is gonna take whatever victory she has, roll with it. Done. I'm done. They're all live on my website literally right now, if I did it correctly. Let's check. Because I don't trust myself. This is my shop. Yay! Good lord, that's the weight lifted. That was a lot of work. Oh god. I tallied how much I would make if I sold all of them. It's like $1.50. It feels like so little money for the amount of time and work this took, because it was almost like a straight month of working. That's not a very good wage for a month, but the whole point of this is to make original pieces available to people if they can't afford anything higher priced. And it was incredibly fun to make, and luckily I can make lots of derivative products off of them. They'll become stickers, mostly for patrons. Doing all of these is nearly all my stickers for 2025 for patrons design, essentially. So that's really good. Like, that's a good chunk of my rewards for patrons for next year sorted. That's a fantastic chunk of work done. Really chuffed about that. This is cool. I enjoyed this project. I shouldn't have done it on a month where I only had essentially less than 2/3 of the month to work on it. It wasn't an entirely neatly wrapped up success. I didn't do all the 24 paintings I wanted to do. Each listing is probably missing a little bit of the in-depth information I like to put when I sell originals. I didn't do it perfectly, but I did it. Towards the end, it was increasingly looking like I wouldn't be able to do it. And honestly, in a year that felt fraught with failures, I will take this victory. There's one day left to 2024, and I am going to consider this year finished on a high note. Because gosh damn the rest of it, but ending it on a high note feels really nice. I'm going to take this win, and I'm going to let myself be proud of that. And it's done. And I'm happy with all my little pieces. That's obviously like a very small fraction of them. I didn't take them all with me to France. This one, the foot broke. It couldn't stand on its own. So I took it home and I was like, my dad will know how to fix that. If you buy this little piece, it comes with a little wooden bag that my dad made. And I think that's an added perk. But you know, you might not, because he's not your dad. You don't care. I'm releasing energy, so I'm rambling. You know when you finish something that's been sort of weighing on you and you feel really free and a little bit high on the energy? I don't know if you feel like that way about stuff, but I do. I'm feeling a little bit lightheaded from the feeling of being done. Anyway, I'm filling up my phone with ramblings because I don't really know how to end this video. I'll figure it out once I'm home in England, and you'll probably have a shot of me sitting on my floor in my office ending this video. Or maybe I'll decide to add more footage to it, because that's my way of procrastinating having to edit it, you know? To have the excuse, oh no, this is what I want to film for this. And that way I never really get to the point where I have to edit it, which is probably my least favourite task in my job, is editing YouTube videos. It takes so long. It takes so long. I am not an editor at heart, but I want to get back on YouTube because I enjoy it. Anyway, it is time for me to stop rambling because my phone is screaming at me that I have no storage left. Also, I don't know what the quality of the mic on my phone is. I'm hoping it'll be good enough to include in the videos, because I have been speaking to my phone an awful lot for this video. I don't have the expectation that they will sell out. Not today, at least. They're not even in the coming month. But they're on my website. I'm sure they'll all go at some point or another. There's no rush, so I'm not going to keep checking my emails. Maybe I will. I probably will. I don't know. I was trying to make a point to close this video that's already 6 minutes long. That's going to be a nightmare to edit. You know, I keep talking to my phone thinking, oh, I can edit down what I'm saying later so it's not as long and rambly for people to watch. But it's going to be long and rambly for me to watch. So it might not be for you because I have edited myself shorter, but it's definitely going to be excruciating for me to watch. Anywho, speak soon on the floor of my office. Bye. I have to film a quick little segment for a future video. Well, my hopes of a future video. You never know with my track record. I painted these 3 pieces for a gallery show to apply to a gallery show, and I just got the results. So I'm quickly gonna film that segment and then I'll be right back to this video. This is my not so subtle way to try and reel you in to subscribe so that you see that future video. I
I'd say overall this project went really well. I was most worried about having to post on social media every day because I have a frustrating tendency to be obnoxiously perfectionist about making social media content. But actually this challenge turned out to be a really good way for me to let go of that perfectionism a little bit, because I just couldn't overthink making content. I decided to upload a video on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube Shorts every single day while I did this. I failed a couple of times to do it on YouTube and TikTok, I think, but overall I managed every day. I just had to keep the videos incredibly simple and minimalistic in order to be able to keep to my deadline. The sky didn't fall on my head, so it's helped me to dramatize the idea of just posting simple content that didn't take me too long to edit. I was hoping that posting every single day on social media, particularly videos, would help with my engagement and my growth, and it did not. Did absolutely nothing. But hey, lesson learned. At least I was wondering, and I would have kept wondering if I hadn't done it, and I did it and it didn't help. In a way, it's a good thing, like it's a good result, because if it had helped, then it would mean that if I want to keep growing on social media and get engagement, I would need to essentially burn myself out completely. But if it doesn't actually help to post a new video every day, then cool, I can get away with not posting every day and it won't change very much. That was in some ways the better result, frankly. I can go back to having a more sustainable schedule rather than something that will destroy my soul. I was planning on like the big ending piece of this project being another one of these guys. That did not come to fruition because that's essentially 4 paintings and I managed barely 1 per day when I was home in France. I'm talking too much. Anyway, success. I completed 21 pieces, 23 if you consider this one as 2 different paintings, and honestly I don't think that's too shabby. I was beating myself up for a bit for not having actually managed 24 or 25 or however many I wanted to do. That's silly. That's a silly thing to do, considering that I managed 21 pieces. I think that's pretty cool, and I was really happy with myself because on top of that I like every single one of them which is not a given for projects like this, but I genuinely think they're all really fun. There's a couple maybe that I feel I could have painted better, maybe, or for which I really like the concept, but I'm not entirely certain I executed it perfectly, but that's always true. They're not gonna be all 100% my favorites. I'm pretty content with how happy I am with most of them, honestly. I really thought I would struggle more. That project was so fun. I had so much fun doing it. I had so much fun doing it that I might do it again this year. Because you see, one of the goals of this project was for me to liquidate my stock of small frames. You know, success. Yeah, this is like I just kept buying them because I can't stop. Half of them sold within a week of me listing them, another quarter sold within a month, and then these are the only ones I've got left. So I've got 5 of them here. A little under a quarter of all the pieces I created for that challenge are still with me as of May 2025. Pretty good. I'm really happy with that success rate. It's generally a project that I find fun and exciting and very low pressure, so I suspect I'm gonna try and do it again for 2025. I might not paint all the pieces in December. I might sort of trickle them out throughout the year and then just release them all in December, you know? It was quite tiring to have to actually paint them and post them every single day. For what is one of my busiest months of the year, probably going to try and be smarter about it this year. So these are the ones that I left over. They're on my website right now. I'll have more to come at the end of the year. I failed, I completely failed to advertise them in my newsletter at the end of 2024. I haven't, as of June 2025, I have not sent a new newsletter email because I'm swamped constantly and I'm struggling with that. So I keep thinking about it. If that means anything to anyone, I will really very much do my best to this year update my newsletter as soon as all the mini originals are on my shop at the end of the year. So if you would like to be sure not to miss them, then I would subscribe to my newsletter. It's free, obviously, it's a newsletter. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you here, I think. I hope you enjoyed this new video. Please like and subscribe. And I genuinely do mean it when I say I'm trying to come back to YouTube. I think I'm gonna focus on YouTube as my main social media platform for a while. All the other ones are driving me nuts. I miss YouTube, and I have so much footage, because it's not like I forgot about YouTube for the past 2 years, you know. It's not like I went I kept meaning to come back, so I filmed so much stuff. I have stuff now that is completely irrelevant and too old for me to make a video out of, but I have so much footage. That's some of it I can do something with, maybe, if I figure it out. Even in the last few months, because I was definitely seriously gearing up and coming back. I have lots of different videos in mind. I just need to find the time to edit them. That's always been the main problem, but I'm trying to make the time now. So hopefully I will, see you soon. I would not hold it against you if you did not trust me, or if you did not believe me, because I got clearly a terrible track record, but you know, I'm here. I've managed to upload this one. Please believe me. Please subscribe. Please come and watch the next one. Please. Thanks. I appreciate it very much. I don't know why I'm looking for other things to say. If I don't have anything rolling off the tongue right now, then I have nothing more of importance to say. I hope you enjoyed the project. Make sure you go check out these little guys on my shop if you want one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!